Hi everyone, Heather here with astrologywithheather.com, and I am back with another special video. And today we're going to be diving into the basics, the foundational information that we need in order to understand astrology. And so this video is a part of my new astrology basics series that I'm providing for you guys for free here on YouTube, where we're going to be going over a lot of the most fundamental concepts in astrology, so that way you can have a good foundation to understand astrology and use it more productively in your own life. And if you're interested in going a bit deeper, the reason that I am revisiting the basics and really focusing on the fundamentals right now is because I'm releasing a very exciting course that I've been working on for, over a year now, really. Putting it together, really refining the course curriculum and the content and what it is that I'm trying to provide for you in the way that it's structured. And so this course that I've created for you is a foundational astrology course. It's a video course. It's super in-depth, and I actually have for you guys 3 different variations of this course. And so today is the very first day that you can pre-order the course on October 23rd if you're watching this video on this day, and you can actually get 20% off the course regardless of which one you choose, because there are 3 different options, 3 different levels depending on how deep you want to go. And so for the first 2 levels, you can get 20% off using the discount code, which is located on the registration page and also down in the description below. You can read all about what these courses have to offer, the different offerings, and which one might be best for you. And if you pre-order now through October 30th, you'll get 20% off the price of the course. And so the course will actually be launched. It'll be open, and you'll be able to start learning in the morning on October 29th. And so you have a few days to get in there, get the discount, and as soon as it's released, you'll be some of the first people to actually take this video course. And so I'm really excited about it. But without further ado, one of the foundational concepts in astrology that you really need to understand, that we will cover really in depth in this course, in either of the different variations of this course, are the signs, planets, and houses. And so oftentimes people get confused when they start putting things together when it comes to these 3 fundamental concepts in astrology, because there's a little bit of overlap when it comes to the way that these influences play out in the chart. And it's because there's a connection between each planet and a certain sign, or multiple signs in some cases, and also the house system in astrology. And so, for example, the planet Aries is associated with action and willpower. It has to do with what motivates you, your own self-interest. It's your ambition and drive. It's also your physical energy and physical activity and your ability to act in a physical way out in the world. It's what you need in order to feel passionate and to feel motivated to keep going or to initiate action. It also has an association with many other things. It's associated with the immune system. It's associated with the muscles. It's associated with sharp objects. It's associated with anger, aggression, the way that you express your anger, or the lack of expression of anger for some people. And so there's a lot that goes into this energy of Mars. And Mars is the ruler of the sign Aries. Aries has a lot of those martial energies because it's associated with that Mars energy, right? Because Mars is the planet that rules Aries. And so Aries is associated with a lot of those same themes. It's associated with passion, with initiation, with jumping in and just doing things, feeling really motivated, being very high energy, taking that initiative, being very ambitious, being more optimistic, being more active, having a lot of energy and being very direct. These are all Aries types of traits that have some overlap with that Mars energy. And then you also look at the first house, which is associated with Aries, because it's the first sign in the zodiac and the first house in the house system. And this is where the chart starts. It's the initiation. It's the way you come in through your ascendant sign and through that first house energy. And it shows what motivates you, similar to that other energy, right? It's your own self-interest. It's the lens through which you perceive the world and the lens through which other people perceive you. It's your personality. It shows what you do in favor of your own self-interest interest, how you see yourself and how other people see you. And it does have an association with your body, with your health, but also with motivation and your direction in life. And so there's, a little bit of overlap there too. So people can sometimes get confused, and all of the different planets, signs, and houses have this small amount of overlap. But hopefully that shows you a little bit how these energies are a little bit different. And this is kind of the lead into the main point of this conversation, which is why are these different? How are these different? How do you read these three energies in the chart and synergize this in order to give some sort of interpretation? And so the way that I really like to explain this is usually by describing it sort of as a sentence or a paragraph or a story. But before I get into that, I'm just going to give a general overview of what each of these different points in the chart indicate. And so when you look at the planets show you what's happening and sometimes who's doing it. They show you where the action is in the chart. And so when I talk about the planets, I like to describe it in the context of a story or a sentence that you're constructing. I like to describe the planets as being the verbs and the nouns. It's the action. It's where a lot of the energy is in your chart. It's showing you different things about who you are, your personality, the way that you interrelate with other people in the world, the way that you move about and actually take action in this lifetime in various different ways, through your communication, through your motivation, through your ability to take actual action, through the way that you interrelate in relationships, through your belief systems that give context to your reality. All of these different things can be shown looking at the planets. And when I talk about planets, by the way, in astrology, the sun and moon are actually considered planets. They're also luminaries, which is a whole nother thing that we'll get into in the astrology course if you choose to take it, but they are considered planets. So when I talk about the 10 planets, I'm talking about Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. So those are the 10 planets I'm referring to. And so those planets, they represent the nouns, they represent people in your life. For example, the sun represents the father in childhood, the moon, the mother. Mars represents men and your relationship with men. Venus has an association with women. Just like the moon has an association with women as well, the sun has an association with men, but they're more like maternal and paternal figures. And then you have Mercury, which is siblings, right? Venus is also your relationship. So there's a lot of different planetary alignments with people in your life, and with certain situations. The planets rule different situations. They rule different objects in your environment. You can go down this rabbit hole, and I mean, it goes pretty deep. So you can tell a lot from looking at the planets. So you can figure out what planet rules whatever it is that you're trying to look at, and that can give you an indication of how that plays out or how you relate to whatever that is in your life. And so again, the planets are kind of like the verbs, the nouns. They show you what's happening and who's doing it. And then you have the signs. So each planet is going to be in a different sign. Sometimes you'll have multiple planets in one sign. Sometimes they'll be scattered around in various signs. And so how do you interpret that? Well, the signs represent how the energy is being expressed. And so the planets are sort of like these energies that you can look at as being verbs or nouns, but they're really just energies in your chart that are being expressed in a certain way. And so these energies that are symbolic of different situations, different actions, different events, different ways that you interrelate with your world, how are they expressed? They're expressed through the energy of the signs, right? And so the signs, if you were looking at a sentence, would be the adjectives. They're the descriptive words. So it's kind of like, well, with Venus, how do you show your love and appreciation to other people? And how do you like love and appreciation to be shown to you in return? How do you interrelate with people that you're close with? That's one of the things that Venus shows, right? Venus is the way that you interrelate. It's your love language. And so if the sign that Venus is in describes that love language, you look at what that sign represents. And so an example of this for those who are a little bit more well-versed in astrology would be that Venus in the sign of Virgo Virgo is a sign that is associated with things that are practical, organization, paying attention to details, doing things that are more service oriented. Virgo wants to be of service. And so Venus in Virgo would show their love and appreciation through acts of service. Their love language would be acts of service. And I have a video about this actually, if you go to my channel and search it, that talks all about, Venus is your love language and the different Venus signs. And that can help to get you, to give you a better understanding of how this all works. I also have a video for Mercury and for Mars on the same topic. But so the way that you would show, again, your love and appreciation, the way that you would want it shown to you in return as a Virgo or as a Venus in Virgo person would be through acts of service, through doing very practical, tangible things for your partner, like doing the dishes, mowing the lawn, paying attention to the details, paying attention to the little things that they like and need, and doing those things for them, those little subtle things. That's really how Venus in the sign of Virgo expresses their love. You might notice that your partner likes to use, a certain mug in the morning for their coffee, and you notice that, and you always give them that mug. That would be a Venus in Virgo thing. Noticing that your partner's feeling overwhelmed and the dishes are piling up, wanting to go and do the dishes for them or take care of things or organizing their closet, doing something in service of that person. And you would want that done for you in return. You'd want them to pay attention to the little things and do that for you because that's how they show they care. So that's how, Venus as a planet is expressed in a sign, Virgo. So we move on then from the planets and the signs to the houses. So what do the houses represent in the birth chart? If this is a sentence that we're constructing using like the planets and the signs that they're in, I would say that the houses are more like the whole paragraph. It gives the story context, right? So if your chart was a story, which it is in a lot of different ways, the house placements and the houses in general give the story context. They show in which areas of life are these planetary energies being expressed, and then you have the signs showing how they're being expressed, and then where and why are they being expressed is going to be the houses, because they represent different areas of our life and our experiences. And so that's how you piece it all together. And so that Venus in Virgo, energy that we just talked about, Venus being like the action that's taking place with the way that you're expressing your love and appreciation to someone you care about, Virgo being the way that it's expressed through acts of service, the context in which it's expressed can be shown by the house system. And so maybe you have Venus in Virgo in your second house. The second house in astrology represents finance, money, material possessions. And so maybe what you do as a Venus in Virgo in the second house person to show your love and appreciation to somebody is by paying attention to the little things that person needs and buying them. Buying gifts for them that are very practical, that serve them in some sort of way. Helping them out in a very physical, tangible, material way through gifts, through financial means, right? That type of thing, because we're talking about physical possessions and objects. And so maybe that Venus in Virgo person knows that you're out of milk and they go to the store, they buy you milk. Maybe they notice that you like that little thing in the shop, and that thing in the shop actually has some sort of practical value for you. It's something that you probably need. That Venus in Virgo person might go to that shop, buy that thing that you need, and give it to you. It might not be like a luxurious romantic gift that they give you. It might be something like a lawnmower, but they'll give it to you nonetheless because it serves you in some way, and maybe they'll even mow your lawn with it. So hopefully that helps to give you more of like a visual of what's going on there with the planets, the signs, and the houses. So the planets, again, are the action, the signs are how that action is being expressed, and the houses are the context in which that action is being expressed as well. And so that is the planet signs and houses from my perspective, or at least the way that I like to describe it and teach it to people. And if you want to learn more about this, again, my foundational astrology video course is going to be open and ready for you guys to learn from on October 29th. And you can pre-order beginning today to get 25% off. And I'm super excited about this course. The first variation of this course is the foundational astrology, just the basics, where we go into really in depth into the signs, planets, and houses and what that all means. This version of the course is designed for people that want to understand astrology better for their own personal use, for taking additional webinars and things like that, and for watching videos on YouTube and understanding better what's going on, again, for your own personal use. And that can be a platform to go on to learn more, and you can always upgrade to the going deeper, which is for people who really want to learn how to learn everything you need to know as a foundation for understanding astrology, and maybe going on later to learn how to read and interpret charts really effectively. And then my final version of this is the foundational astrology small group course, which I only offer twice a year, and it's actually going to be based on application only because there's such a high demand for this course, and I want to make sure that the right people that can really utilize this information and learn really effectively can get into this course. And so that's a more interactive course where you will learn how to read charts, and we will do a lot of interaction and demonstration. You'll practice and get feedback, and there's graded quizzes, and there's a bunch of additional content and information that you will learn beyond just the video course. That one, if you decide that you want to do it, you can always do the foundational astrology going deeper course and then upgrade later on. I'll give you a coupon code if you're accepted to the small group version of this course, which again only happens twice per year, and I keep it very small. So that's what's going on with those courses. And that you got the information about the signs, planets, and houses. So hopefully you found this helpful. If you like this video and you found it helpful, if you found that it has value, please share with your friends who are into astrology, and subscribe to this channel so you never miss an update, because I'm going to be doing a full series on the basics of astrology, all the fundamental concepts, or little bits and pieces of them at least. And then I'm also doing, as part of this, a series on all of the ascendant signs and the way that I interpret them, which is a little bit different than a lot of astrologers interpret them in some ways. So stay tuned for that. Subscribe to my channel if you want to learn more. And I hope to see some of you guys signing up for my course. And if you have questions, feel free to email me, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye, everyone.